Welcome back to the Overboard DM, where I go overboard on Dungeons and Dragons stuff so that you don't have to. Hopefully in my videos you can take a look at some of the more expensive models that are out there, terrain that's out there, and decide what's right for you. And don't buy everything, just buy what you need or what you think is worth the money. Today is going to be fire giants. I'm going to take a look at a bunch of different miniatures here. We got old grandma with her kittens for scale. I'm going to start off with a pre-painted miniature from I'm not sure which set. I have to check it out. I think I bought it individually on eBay. The prices are coming down because of a lot of different fire giant models that are coming out, and just D&D with popularity. There's not a limited quantity. There's more out there, so I bought this one. This is from one of their, maybe like a Storm King's Thunder, somewhere around that range. You can comment in the comments below to let me know exactly where he came from, but I forgot. It's pretty cool. I definitely think he's unique, and I'll go over this later when I show you the rest of them. Just all the little unique features to each one of them. I'm going to set him aside, and I'm going to bring out another one from, I believe, the same box set, collector's edition, pre-painted. It's a juggernaut, or basically a fire giant holding two giant shields that can crush you or keep you from going anywhere, that's for sure. Pretty simple model. The facial expressions on both these models here are very plain. Their skin is a lighter color than I was thinking it was going to be. The armor is very simple, in other words. When I show you the other models, you'll see what I'm talking about. But still a very cool model to have. Very cheap. This one here is really cheap. When I say that, I'm saying probably less than $5, depending. Set him aside, and we'll lead in with one I painted myself here. This model comes pre-painted and unpainted now, which a lot of their miniatures are coming out now. They're coming out with a unpainted line so that you can save some money, but sometimes these bigger models aren't always cheaper unpainted. A lot of the pre-paints are coming down because the paint jobs aren't so good. You can see here, it's my first time painting a fire giant, and I wanted to change his belt color. His hair is not detailed. But when you buy it unpainted, sometimes you can actually pay a little bit more because you're going to do the detail work yourself. So sometimes if you're on the cheap, you want to get the pre-painted models if you're not really worried about it. You can see that the skin's a little darker. My eyes kind of suck on that one. But if I bring out this guy again, to compare, granted my eyes aren't very good. You'll get no eyes with that guy. No attempt at it. But again, pre-painted models, you can actually get them really cheap, unless you want to try to decorate them yourself. You want to, change the color scheme. You can always do that with your pre-painted ones, which I plan on doing with these guys. Touching up their skin colors, changing some stuff on their armors, putting a little bit more orange in there. So you can still do that with your pre-painted ones. So let's get to the Gale Force 9 Collector Series models. Now, I haven't painted these yet. I'm looking forward to it. I really wanted to get those other couple fire giants in my hands so I can kind of just see what direction they went with them, and I actually don't like it. So you can see I'm pretty sure you can see in the picture here all the detail, the intricacy in the shoulder pads, and this guy is very similar to this one over here. but you'll see that the differences are, this piece looks like it's built into his shoulders, where if you look at this piece here, it's just basically a circle, like it's mounted. So it's very similar. I don't know if it's an NPC character from one of the campaigns, but they're so different, especially even with their different weapons. They could be a different character, different hairstyles. They may be actually the same NPC character, but you can definitely make them two different characters if you want. The hammer with the spike. He's got some rope around his belt and then hanging off the side. Even the details on the actual armor itself look better. You can see I've used some green stuff here and there. Just not much on these fire giants. They look really good. I didn't have to use a lot of green stuff at all. And they're sitting on like a pool of lava, which is great actually, because they can walk in lava, no problem. So, cool miniature, very cool. This is the final one here. Gale Force 9's Collector Series Dreadnought. Now it looks better. It's got a little bit more of the armor is way better. It's got the intricate shoulder pads. He's got a crown that's got like 5 points, more detailed, an angry type look to his face instead of just a plain Jane face. Just the more detail he's got like steel toe covers. He's got metal shin guards on. The armor is just so much more detailed. You'll have to see if it's worth the money for you to, if you want this. It's more of a centerpiece, like you're going to put it out and display your pieces. So if you just want a dreadnought, boom, you just throw that in there for $5 or less, and it's still great. And I wanted you to compare the sizes are the same. One thing you are going to get with nolzur's Marvelous Miniatures or the pre-painted WizKid line is you're going to get the perfect circle base for gameplay. When you get into Gale Force 9, you're going to get some odd shaped bases and maybe odd sizes. This one's odd shaped and size. It is relatively close as far as so it's a little bit bigger. It's not going to be that perfect circle. But yeah, when you look at these two figures side by side, it's insane how much you'll love this one. It's opened up a little bit so you can see that he can block, but you can pick out some details. You can see his face better, and I like having both, to be honest with you, so that they're not exactly the same, but you can tell they're both, still both dreadnoughts, both juggernauts. I call them juggernauts, but dreadnoughts. And the more miniatures that I can have with variety, I love it. I don't want 3 or 4 of these. I'd rather have a couple different models. So yeah, I like them. Especially these the Gale Force 9 Giants. Now I don't like the Reaper Bones line. They're okay. They're smaller, a little bit, or they're more stocky. They're cool. It's not that I don't like their sculpts, but if these are your fire giants that you think of when you think fire giant, then when you look at these other ones, you can have them just be a shorter one, I guess. They're pretty close. I think the fire giants are some of the closer ones as far as scale goes, but most of the Reaper lines giants are off scale for me, and I don't really, I'm not really a big fan. When I think of dragons, I'm thinking of the dungeon, D&D dragons. Pathfinder's got some good dragons, but they're not the same for me. So some D&D stuff I don't like, and I'll show this later on in other videos where I have purchased completely different lines of miniatures that I believe is what a goblin should look like, or I believe what a bugbear should look like, or whatever. And it's to each your own, whatever you like. But so anyway, this was Gale Force 9's Fire Giants, and basically all D&D Fire Giants. There may be a couple stragglers out there that I don't have, but this will give you a good idea of comparison between them. Hope you enjoyed. Hang on for the next video. Thank you. Bye.